Hi there and welcome. This is Jennifer Palmer, and I'm an intuitive and an energy healer and a spiritual coach. And today I really would like to talk to you about how to recognize when the universe is sending you messages. For those of us who maybe aren't natural intuitives or we're working at it and we just don't always know if we're actually receiving the correct information, it's really helpful to ask for signs from the universe. Sometimes it could be loved ones that have passed that are sending you messages. Sometimes it could be your guides or maybe more angelic. And they like to work with you in different ways. Sometimes it's very blatant, and then sometimes it's really more subtle. And you have to really keep your eyes open and tell the universe you want to see the signs. So if you really want to connect with the universe and maybe you aren't able to hear your guides yet, or you just want confirmation about what you think you're getting, ask for signs. That's always the easiest way, is just ask. So today I want to talk about just some really simple ways that you could ask for some signs, or ways that the universe may already be trying to connect with you. Now, when I say universe, I mean it could be angelic, it could be your guides, it could be the one true creator, it could be your loved ones, it could be any number of helpers out there who are trying to get your attention. Some people like to think of guardian angels as well, trying to get your attention. So whatever your point of view or your focus is, it really doesn't matter. Just know that you are being communicated with, and it happens often, and nothing happens by accident. Okay, so let's get started. The first one I really want to talk about is when you see feathers. Most of us have seen feathers somewhere. And my point of view about these things is if you're noticing it, it's a message. How many times have you passed feathers on the sidewalk and you don't even pay attention? And then how many times when you pass a feather on the sidewalk and it just stares back at you in a way, it is drawing your attention to it, and you just know that feels important. And maybe you don't always know why, but you know it feels important. That's a sign. The next one is seeing animals. So you might see the same animal a few times, or it might come to you in a way where you didn't really know why, but you just felt drawn to it. Again, you had that sense of it feels like something important, something you need to know or understand, or it feels majestic. It could also show up in your dreams. Your dreams will speak very loudly if you allow them to. But if you're not paying attention to your dreams, the universe will come to you in the 3D realm as well. And then you'll find animals just pop up out of nowhere. Even things like spiders, if you have a lot of spiders coming in, or out of the blue, you're just seeing one and it looks really interesting, or it feels like it's important. Again, pay attention and maybe look up the symbolism of the type of animal. Every animal generally means something different. And if you're dreaming about it, you might want to look up the dream interpretation meaning of an animal, and then also look up the spiritual meaning of the animal, because it might have two different meanings. And then what you do is you just kind of see, okay, what is this trying to show me? What makes the most sense for what I'm going through in my life? Or maybe you had a past loved one who just really loved, I don't know, a certain type of bird, and you keep seeing that bird all of a sudden, and it could be your loved one coming to visit you. So keep an eye out for those animals. Another one that I really like is pennies. When you see pennies on the ground, I always pick them up. And, there's that old superstition where it says that, pennies are good luck. I like to think that that's true. So I will pick up the penny, and I keep all the pennies I find in a special place. And then sometimes I'll give it away, as almost like a lump. Here's all my gold that I found, as I was walking the earth. Here are my lucky pennies, and here you go. And so I'll give them to others. But I like those because it says on there, "In God we trust." And to me, it's always a message of trust in God, trust in the universe, trust in your process, and I usually get them at times when I really need to hear that message. It can also be from loved ones. I had a grandmother who had passed who tended to like to help me with my finances, and I would often find coins and things and feel like it was connected to her. And I don't have that happen so much anymore. I think that her process with me was completed. So I don't experience that anymore, but I still do find those pennies where I need that message of, okay, have faith again, come back to God. And that makes all the sense in the world to me. Another thing that I experience frequently is angel numbers. And if you're starting to get into your spirituality, or maybe you already have been, you've probably already heard of angel numbers. But if you see the same sequence of numbers over and over and over and over again, it is clearly a message. So pay attention to it, get online and look up angel number 123 or whatever it is you see. So for example, if I see a sequence of numbers that steps up like 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I keep seeing sequences of numbers that seem to step up like that, I will take it as a sign from the universe that things are progressing in some way, that I'm moving forward and I'm on the right track. And it usually does happen to show up for me when I'm questioning something or I'm not sure if I'm doing the right things. So I really appreciate those numbers. I also oftentimes will see my birth date. So when you see your birth date, for me, that means you're on that right path. You're doing your soul's mission. And for me, it's a confirmation of I am doing that. So I'll see that sometimes. Sometimes you'll see 1111 or 1212 or 222, 333. It all has meaning. And when you keep seeing it, it means you haven't gotten the information yet, So the universe will keep giving you those signals until you figure out what the message is, or at least get some sort of an idea of what they're trying to show you. Another one that happens a lot for me is electrical disturbances. And this could be anything from the TV suddenly turning on, or music suddenly turning on, or lights flickering. And, sometimes it can be positive signs from the universe. Sometimes there could just be a spirit hanging around that maybe needs to be cleared. But either way, it's a really good indication that someone is trying to get your attention. One time I was going through a really difficult thing and I was just churning in my mind, and I was probably way overthinking and emotional about something. And I was listening to a song on my playlist, and I don't even remember what it was at this point, but it was some song, and it was in the middle of the song. And my guides literally stopped in the middle of that song, fast forwarded to a Jewel song. And it was a song that has the lyric, I will get down on my knees and I will pray. It literally fast forwarded right to that moment in that song from a totally different song. And I did. I got down on my knees and I prayed, and I felt the tingling. I felt their presence. I just felt like it was just such a huge message. Come to us. We want to help you. So please give us your worries. Please pray to us. We're here to help. And so they can do really blatant things. Another way that they like to use music is playing lyrics in your mind. You might have this song that just pops up out of nowhere in your mind, and then these lyrics start playing. And usually it's the same part of the song over and over and over again. Now, sometimes it's just an earworm. Maybe you just heard that song a week ago and you're like, oh, it doesn't really mean anything. But other times it really is profound, the messages that can come through when they access your memories of certain songs and play it in your mind. And then it's just profound. You can get these amazing messages, and it's exactly what you need to hear. Another way to know that's maybe a little bit more subtle and you really have to pay attention is you'll hear the same thing 3 times and from different people. So you might see it on TV, and then somebody you work with might say the same thing. And then you might see an ad for the same thing, or somebody totally different will say something. That's when you know you need to pay attention. It doesn't mean go out and buy something or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that, but it could be something to do with that issue or that item or that thing where you never saw anything like that before. You didn't even pay attention, or it wasn't in your frame of mind and you weren't really noticing that. and then all of a sudden it's showing up all over the place. That could be a sign from the universe trying to get you to pay attention to something. Anytime you hear or see something and it makes you pause, or it seems interesting or unusual, and you just can't help but notice it where maybe you wouldn't have before, consider it a sign. And don't ignore it. And you might not always know what it's trying to say. You can always ask for more clarification. I can tell you as an intuitive that when I get a message or a download, it's usually packed with information. I might see a vision, and in that vision, I'll have a sudden download of awareness where I just know what that whole thing was about, or at least a lot of it. I'll have emotions with it. I'll have feelings with it. I'll have knowings. I don't even know how I know these things, but I know them. And it creates a full picture. Well, if you haven't developed those intuitive gifts, and you can, but if you haven't, or they're not developed enough yet where you feel like you're really getting as much information as you would like to be more sure about it, just know that you can ask for more guidance, you can ask for more help. It's harder when we're not as open for our guides to get us information sometimes, because we're kind of thick-headed. We don't see all the colors of the universe. We only see a certain spectrum. We don't hear everything. We only hear a certain spectrum. And we don't feel everything. We only feel a certain spectrum. And so when this information, this energy is trying to come through, it can only get so far. And if we're blocked to it, or we don't know how to decipher it, and we're not trained in how to understand it, it can be harder for them to get messages to us. So pay attention to everything you're thinking, feeling, knowing, understanding as you're seeing these signs, because you're probably getting more information than you realize. Okay. And I hope you enjoy this. I hope it helps you in your experience with God and the universe, and how you're moving through in your spiritual journey. And I just know that you are so capable of getting so much more information and wisdom from all of it. And it can really help you in your process. So if I can be of any service to you, please let me know. And if you like this, please subscribe and like it and share it if you feel like somebody could benefit from it. And that's it for now. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.